2 seconds early. Hey, everybody. Oh, it looks like maybe I'm a little out of focus. Maybe that's just the way I look. Let's see. No, that's worse. That's worse. Yeah, it might be worse too. Yeah, so this is the new camera. Um, I think that the quality is not quite as good. It's interestingly the same HDMI capture device. It's just a different camera. This is a Canon, the other one is a Sony. How's everybody doing? It's been a weird year for me so far. I've gotten very little accomplished, and my day job just got kind of crazy as well. So we'll see. We've been talking in the chat, and I will sum it all up for anybody who wasn't in the chat. This is the kind of thing you're missing with the pre-live stream chat. um, yeah, it was talking about the most popular drinks in the world. So anyway, oh, and Mason. So whiskey is an expensive hobby to get into. I actually really like whiskey as well. I'm partial to. I like bourbon. Um, I know that I'm supposed to like Scotch, which I don't think that in Scotland it's proper to call it Scotch. I think that's a little oddly redundant. It's just whiskey because you're in Scotland. Um, I just really like good bourbon. I do like Irish whiskey, which would probably make me unpopular in Scottish circles. I actually don't know how the those things work. Who gets mad at whom for what? But nonetheless, oh yeah, Jameson's is actually, if I had to pick an Irish whiskey, uh, it would be Jameson's. I really do enjoy it. It's smooth. It's not too hot, and there's probably a better word than hot, but uh, that harsh alcohol, it's not too bad. But bourbon is the yeah. I know Scott. I don't think you drink anymore, but bourbon is what I really. If I'm gonna pick something, it's gonna be a bourbon. Sorry, I'm gonna finish or fuss with the camera. I really feel like I'm blurry, and not just an attitude. So yeah. Let's see. I guess that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next. We talked about rotten grapes and whiskeys. So anyway, yeah, it's been a weird couple of weeks. I thought after the I thought after the 90 Days of Mayhem, things would get, like I would get into a groove of other stuff, but that has not happened yet. And then, like I said, work, my day job, I got a huge assignment that I don't even know how to do. So I get to invent how to do it and then figure it out. It just occurred to me, I need to, for these live streams. So maybe somebody remind me, uh, a couple days before, if anybody thinks of it and I haven't mentioned it, I want to get kind of a running, which side, like a running, maybe the live chat could be on the screen, for folks who aren't like watching in a window where they can actually watch both. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe not. I don't know. But I feel like I'm responding to chat messages that don't make sense out of context. So anyway, that's how my brain works. And I am fully medicated, so I'm still popping around topic to topic. Anyway, this is I guess I'll go back to this camera that I keep fiddling with. Is it's a Canon camera. I think it's good. It's a decent lens. I can zoom in and out. I don't know if it's zoomed all the way in, or I guess it's zoomed all the way in. And the thing is, I can't use autofocus because I'll show you why. Do you want to see why? Let's see if I can. So autofocus works, but do you see the problem? While it, and actually I say it works, I don't even know if it's doing a great job of autofocus. Maybe it's not continual autofocus. Let's see. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, that's why I can't do autofocus, because it puts stuff on the screen. So yeah, but this is what I'm gonna do because the one over there, which actually I was going to show like the really cool stream from one computer to another. Oh, let me mute that. Sorry. I think I muted it. Yeah. I was gonna do the cool stream from the other side of the room to this side, but it failed. So I think it's this current receiving side of the stream just failed. So I'm gonna work on that more so I can do things back and forth. But the workbench over there is pretty well. I do have another camera I can show off though. Yes, Mr. Rogers. I mean, if you've heard me say my little like phrase about being kind, it's probably not a secret that I'm a big Fred Rogers fan. And I truly am. Oh, hi, Lewis. I missed that you came in. Um, yeah, and inventing stuff. We'll see how it goes. It's a little unsettling because I need to invent a way to compile data in a way that justifies my continued employment. So, nothing scary about that. Um, I do have, well, let me see though. I have this camera, wide angle camera that is now hooked up. So I can show you briefly. So over there is the setup. It's actually going pretty well, but that camera pointing down is what used to be my face camera. And it now does some really, really close zoom up work when I'm working on the workbench. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of cool. This camera, I eventually plan to have this camera. Well, I will sync up the voice. It doesn't look like it's quite tied with my lips moving. But I will get this on a tripod or something so I can move it around the office and point at different things. So anyway, that's what's happening with the office. And I know I don't know if samples and tests is here. The user, not the concept, but the user is here. But they wanted to know specifically about what I was using for streaming. The last video I posted was just from my phone, and the program I use is called Larix, Larix. It's free, and it allows you to stream like from there into something else, and then OBS will accept an incoming stream. I don't remember if it was a plugin. It was probably a plugin. Let's see, was it a plugin? Maybe it wasn't a plugin. No, I think it was just a. Hold on, I'm gonna switch. I think it's probably black, but you can probably still see me. So the remote video, what is this anyway? Oh yeah, you can just do a remote. See if I can get it going. Hold on. I guess not. I don't know. It was working beforehand. I tested it all, and it was working good. But basically, it just allows you to be your own streaming thing, where I'm streaming from one computer to another, and then in OBS I can use that streaming source. I can use it as a source in a scene, which is actually pretty cool. I've also worked with NDI before, and with varying levels of success there. So anyway, I'll keep playing with it. The reason I first learned about it though is when I was doing the scavenger hunt with my family. I actually was going to have them stream to me so that I could stream everything at once. I ended up using restream.io, which was fine, but I probably wouldn't have done it again. I probably wouldn't do it again because I paid for it. I should actually use it because I paid for a full year, and I haven't really used restream.io. I really should do that. I should be doing that right now. I should be using it right now, but I'm not. Anyway, yeah, Mason. I used NDI before when I was trying to. So because I had so many problems with Windows on my desktop, I was trying to use a Windows Wacom tablet and then use NDI to bring that Windows screen capture into OBS on either a Mac or Linux. I don't remember what I was using at the time. But it was really artifacty. Like I couldn't consistently get a really good capture, and it was frustrating. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time doing it. But nonetheless, I mean, it's cool in the concept, and a lot of people use it, so it's got to work. I just have to play with it more. Scott, we will not be inviting Scott onto the stream for visual purposes, but yes, low voltage wireless keyboards are awesome for bathtub purposes, I suppose. Bad Panda Tech, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Sunday live stream. Sometimes there's an agenda. There hasn't been all year, which I know isn't long yet, but yeah, it's great to see you. Great to see you. Dwayne, that's behind a horse and buggy. How cool is that? So that's cool. So there are a couple. They're not Amish. What are they? Mennonites. There's a fairly sizable Mennonite community in like actually right near the farm, which is about a half hour from here. And yeah, every once in a while I'll see the horse and buggies going down the road. It's just kind of cool. It's really cool to see. They also have in the summertime, I guess they have a bakery that you can go to. I've never been there. But yeah, it's just cool. I truly respect them as a people group because I suspect that they might get a lot more joy out of existence than some of us do some days. Not all the time, and that's not. I'm not down on technology. It's just yeah, it's just interesting. High voltage. I don't know. Is this coming up because used to watch the I had in the bath. Okay. We've talked too much about people in bathtubs. So, yeah, sometimes they are. Sometimes no agenda is the best agenda. Um, it's one of those things where I also don't want it to be like, a take on the mean that this meeting could have been an email. Like this live stream could have been an email. This live stream could have been a tweet or anything like that. Look at this branding. That was actually not planned, but I noticed it in the camera. Let's see. Old Order Mennonite. So it was a black buggy that I saw, but that might have just been the color. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a buggy that wasn't black, so I'm not sure exactly. And I've never spoken to any of them. I've never been to the bakery. I've just heard people talk about the bakery. Must go to the bakery. Yeah, yeah. So that's again, that's what and probably because they just use like straight up butter, straight up lard, whatever, I mean, like pretty simple stuff, and it's probably delicious. Yeah. Wait, you got an electric car, Lewis, or vehicle at least, or something, or of some sort? Or are you now if you're now driving, I'm disappointed because you should not be chatting and driving unless it's a self-driving car, and which is cool, I suppose. But anyway, that's cool. I think our next vehicle will be an electric vehicle as long as I can figure out a way to make charging work. I mean, it's the way that it's gonna be, right? You don't have to be a super progressive, like love the electric car kind of thing to know that. I mean, it's on the horizon. That's, all energy that we produce can be turned into electricity, but it can't go the other way. So I'm excited. Plus electric cars are just cool. What I really want to do, have I told everybody what I want to do? So I probably have, because I tell everybody who'll listen, and this is a captive audience. I mean, you could click away, but then you wouldn't know. So I have a couple Volkswagen Beetles. I have a 71, a 73, and a 75. And they're all broken in various ways. The 71 I got for a steal because a car dealership had it and they couldn't sell it, which is a little bit funny, but it runs great. Well, it ran great like 2 years ago when I got it, 3 years ago when I got it. But the shifter, there's no more, I don't know what it's linkage maybe. I don't know, whatever the thing is that like makes it click in and out of gears. It's just this loosey goosey thing. You guess where to put it. Not a terribly complicated fix. So that one is the closest to working. I have a 73, which is a convertible. That first one's a convertible. The 73 is a convertible. It's like it's kind of squeaky and rattly and has had some modifications to it. It's a great daily driver, but it won't stay running. It was running perfect for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden we'll be driving and it'll just die, and I haven't figured out what is wrong there. And then the 75, which is the year I was born, that's the first year that they switched to fuel injection. Well, this one was modified and went back to a standard carburetor because the original fuel injection was terrible. So it was pretty common to go back to the original carburetor, like they would modify it. But something's weird about it. It sounds like it's sucking air all the time, or it acts like it's sucking air all the time. It won't ever idle. It doesn't, no matter what we do. And I've got multiple carburetors and all sorts of stuff, so I can't get it to work. But all that to say, what I really want to do is get one of the kits from EV West and make one of them or multiple of them electric cars, because it's a drop-in kit. You replace the engine with an electric motor, and it literally bolts up to the transmission. So you still shift it like normal, but there's no more. You don't have to clutch or any. I don't think. Well, you might have to clutch, I guess. Pull it in. I don't know. I don't have one. But you can basically just leave it in like third gear all the time. You don't have to take it out of gear, and you just go. I really want to do that someday. It's still pretty spendy though. It's like 18 grand, which is about $17,950 more than I can afford to spend on it right now. So, so yeah, I'm not doing it anytime soon. But that's my goal, is to do one of those. Oh, and I got behind talking about the cars. Let's see, Mason. Oh, study for the 365. I gotta say, so Microsoft 365, and there the different levels of licensing. Whatever is it just Office 365 where you can get like the family pack for like 100 or $120 or something a year? Anyway, whatever that is. I mean, I'm not a Microsoft guy, but that is such a good deal. If you get the Office 365 family pack, you get like 5 or 6 people who each get a terabyte of OneDrive storage, each get like 3 local installs of Office, plus you get the online version. It's a great, great deal. And this is not sponsored by them, but man, yeah, I pay for that one. I don't mind, because it's a good deal. Oh, what is an MG? I'm gonna look it up now. Let's look it up together if I can get a browser window. Network, web browser, web. Get this this web browser so you don't see all my hundreds of tabs. Not because I'm like concerned that somebody will see what I'm looking at. However, I have no idea what private information I might have up. So let's see. It's MG5 EV. Let's see what this is. 100% electric. Ooh, fancy. Nice. Is this it? Am I looking at the right thing here? It looks like it. Well, that is pretty cool. So now you may have answered this, Liz. Do you have like a garage already, or how do you do? Mason, massive drill. It's true. Yeah, it could just be a like DeWalt. Here, there, we're back. I've lost my place in the chats. Oh, charging in my garage. Oh, cool, garage. I wish I had a garage. That's all. I would just have to get a garage, one way or another. I mean, I know I have talked about that. I have a plan. It's just going to be pricey because we have to go underneath part of our house to do it, and so because our house is on a hill and the street is below. So what I want to do is carve into our front yard, which is a hill that's almost impossible to mow, and I want to carve into that so that our garage is street level, and then in order to make it a decent garage, like a usable size, though, I'd have to go underneath the front part of our house a little bit, and that gets really complicated, and again, expensive. But that's my plan, so that we can actually get a garage someday. Not just so we can have an electric car, but because it'd be nice to have a garage, especially in the wintertime. Getting up that hill is a doozy. Hybrids. So I'm of mixed opinions. I think hybrids are great. I mean, I just love the idea of having pure electricity, and part of it is because I don't go that far. I think if anymore, the range is so amazing on vehicles that I don't even know that would be intimidating, but I would still get range anxiety. Like if we drove from here to Florida, it's like, I don't know how many miles, but it's like 21 or 22 hours of driving at highway speeds. And so, there'd be lots of stops and charges along the way. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, yeah, the linkage is not a hard fix. In fact, when I bought the car, I ordered the, I can't remember the terminology. So it's a little plastic, the word will probably come to me in like 20 minutes. But it's like it's a thing that you kind of like, it guides how the shifter, like it stops it. It's like a template, but that's not the word. It's a thing that goes in there, but you have to pull out the entire rod from the very front of the car. Like you open up the front of the car, and then there's this long linkage rod, is probably what it's called, that You have to take the shifter off to pull the thing out. Then you have to put this, oh, the board, it was almost there. You pull the rod out and then you put this, gosh, it's right there in the tip of my tongue. I can't even think of it. But this plastic jobby on the end of it, you put it all the way back in and then seal up the front. And then you put in the shifter and it engages and you have to adjust it. And it's a little bit weird to adjust and kind of difficult to adjust. But once it's adjusted and bolted down, then you get that, like, the H pattern again. So you can do it. It's not a tough fix. But it takes time and it better, I mean, if you have a garage, right? I mean, I don't want to do this on the street. I don't even know if I'm legally allowed to do any car work on the street in town here. I don't know. It's at the farm right now, so I guess I could do it there. But anyway, time and money, and what am I going to do? So that works, but then it's not licensed, and it's not practical to license this time of year for sure. Both days of summer we get. If I work on it, then I'll want to drive it, and I won't have any summer left. All right. Let's see. Oh, Lewis supplied a link after I Googled it. Still scrolling through. Sorry, I'm so behind. Bushing. Bushing is the word I was looking for. Thank you, Scott. It was probably there like for a while now. But yeah, the bushing. It's just a little plastic bushing that goes on the end of the thing. And it's been a couple of years since I looked at it, but it wasn't a terribly difficult job to do. The adjustment of the shifter, like I said, is difficult. Not difficult. Finicky. So fickle. So it takes a while and a little bit of patience to get it just right. But anyway, I still want to get one of them at least electrified. Let's see. This is the... Oh, that link does not work for me. Lewis, I'm so sorry. That link did not do it for me. I believe you, though. Oh, wait, no. So maybe, so this is what I got. Everybody probably clicked on it. Maybe this is just, he drives so fast, it looks like the surface of the sun. And, yeah. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm guessing it was just a faulty link. But, nonetheless. All right, I'll wait, and then I will show everybody. I mean, not that everybody couldn't click on the link themselves, but still, we'll show it for people who aren't watching the chat because I don't have a thing on the side. I'm curious how many. Oh, I'm going to try to pull. I'm going to put up a poll. I did that before. It was fun. Let's see. Start a poll. Do you use home automation at all? Oops. No. Ask your community. There. So yeah, I'm curious if anybody uses home automation. I am a huge Home Assistant fan, and I have found so much more stuff that I've been able to do with it recently. Yeah, it's just here. You want to see a quick thing here? Let's pull this over, down. Sorry, I got like four screens and they're all in the way here. I don't think there's anything that would be awkward for me to share. Let's see, Wacom. Here we go. Oh, oop, I gotta put over here. My face is in the way. Let me get rid of my face. Oh, no, wrong one. Dang it. There. So yeah, this is Home Assistant. Like for example, the air conditioner in my office, it's turned off because it's winter, but it actually gets hot up here sometimes and I have to turn that on. But it's just pretty cool. I love, just the, yeah, these are all my family members. It integrates with things like Life 360. But what I love about Home Assistant is that everything is local. It does not require the cloud. Now it can work with cloud stuff, but it doesn't require the cloud at all to work. So yeah, super stoked about Home Assistant. And I'm going to end up making some more videos on it because of some of the other stuff I want to do. So I was just curious if anybody uses home automation. And if you don't, I mean, we're a small enough group now that I can just ask. Oh, dang it! I could go right there. If you don't do anything with home automation, I'm curious why. If there's a like, is there a reason? Just not interested, or privacy concerns, or I'm just curious what sort of reasons. And there's not a poll for that. I'll end the poll because looks like 2/3 of you do not do any home automation, which is interesting for me. We're a pretty geeky group. Oh, Discord. Okay, sorry. Looking at Discord. Discord. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see. Can I? Oh, there we go. Let me go back here. Where's my mouse? There we go. So this is the car, everybody. I have somehow lost track of my mouse and my window and the chat. Hope I didn't hang out. No, I'm still connected. All right, good. Yeah, so that's awesome, Lewis. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, actually, it looks. I mean, it's like a. So we drive a Chevy Traverse, which this looks a little bit like a Chevy Equinox, kind of like, I don't know what style car that might be considered, but that's what it reminds me of. Where there's probably like not seats in the way back, but ample cargo area in the way back, and probably like 3 seats across the middle and maybe 2 up front. It's a pretty nice car. I'm impressed. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Hi. There, back to my face. Oh, let's see. Do the devices cost a lot? Are we talking? Is this about my question about Home Assistant? Oh goodness, hold on. I'm trying to catch up. I'm not good at chatting, I think. So some of the devices are expensive. I'm just going to assume that you're talking about the devices for like home automation. Some of them are. I prefer the ones that are not, which is what I want to actually do some work on. Like I can't show you right now because I couldn't get the streaming to work, but like the RF link stuff, the 433 megahertz RF stuff, like, oh, hold on, I'll show you. So right there, do you see that device? I don't know if I can make it light up. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell, it just lit up there. That is a motion detector that keeps my lights on when I'm moving around the office, and then it times out and shuts lights off when I leave because I always forget to turn off lights because there's so many. There's like 5 different light sources to shut off, including the ones in the back behind me. So when it doesn't detect motion for 20 minutes, it'll shut everything in my office off. But that is a super cheap motion detector. Because I don't like spending a lot of money on stuff, and so using the inexpensive stuff is one of my favorites. So some of it is, some of it isn't. I prefer the stuff that isn't expensive. Let's see, and you can use, and that's a nice thing about Home Assistant, is you can use just about any product. I mean, it is so flexible. It connects to so many devices. Whenever I'm looking to buy something, I always check like if there's a mature connection with Home Assistant already, but it's like by far the most compatible way to get home automation stuff. And again, it doesn't need to connect to the internet at all. Also only 1,300 square feet, not that big. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I like it for simple things. So I find that what I use home automation for the most is simple motion detection, to turn lights on and off. And I don't mean like the switches, because you can get like dumb switches that have like motion sensor, and like when you walk in the room, like you see them in like gas station bathrooms a lot, at least around here, where you walk in and the light kicks on, and then after a while, if it doesn't detect motion, it'll click the lights off. But I mean, I have it differently. Our kitchen, there's a motion detector with multiple lights all over. If it's during the daytime, it will turn on the really bright kitchen lights that will illuminate, beyond the, for the daylight. It needs to be brighter to make a difference to see. But then once the sun goes down, the automation changes based on whether the sun is up or down. So if the sun is down, it will turn on a lesser set of lights that isn't as harsh and isn't as blinding. And so in the evening, when you go in the kitchen, the lights fade up slowly to, a nice usable luminosity. And that's just one of the examples. And again, so when you walk out, if it doesn't detect motion, it will just shut everything down too. I like that because I forget to turn lights on and off. And then what else? Like, there's a couple others that I use often. Do I have? If I were to look at it, just that there's a lot of places have a lot of different light sources. Oh, like our room. So our bedroom, I have like a nice little switch near our bed that will turn our lamps. Like my wife and I each have a lamp, one for each side of our bed. And there's a tiny little switch in the middle above our heads on the wall. And one is off, one is dim, and one is full. And if you click dim, both lamps go to about 50%, for mood lighting. I don't know, like for something not as bright. And then off, we'll turn them both off. So we crawl into bed, we just, click a button and all the lights go off. Things like that. I like the simplicity of being able to control things from multiple ways as well. I work in tech business, no need to have more stuff connected. Yeah. So I'm with you there. And in fact, that's the reason that I don't use internet connected cloud-based things, at least as much as possible. I try not to, because I don't like that. I really, really like to use stuff that is local only, using non-routable protocols like the 433 megahertz RF stuff is not internet capable at all. Neither with Z-Wave and Zigbee. They're both local area things only. They're not internet protocol at all. So I like things like that. Used to work for Wink. No, Wink was a cloud-based hub as well. Is Link the one that went out of they went out of business? Is that correct, Scott? I think they did. Wink was one of the ones, maybe they didn't, but Wink was one of the ones that people really enjoyed. I didn't have a Wink. I had Smart Things for a long time because there wasn't a great option for anything else. But that has changed. I'm, again, not sponsored because I don't think they sponsor things, but Home Assistant with a USB, Z-Wave, and Zigbee plug. Oh, it's just so great. I really like having everything local. Not relying on the internet, but also not like just putting random stuff on the internet. So, yeah, I hear you. And I have so many things that I mean, there's so many, these are devices, right? That are like, I have plans for, that I just haven't set up. But like this is a smart plug. This is a Zigbee smart plug, because again, I wanted it to be local, and this brand happens to be a brand that is very compatible, very basic as far as like they have their own cloud-based thing. If you have a hub of theirs, but you don't have to do that, it's just Zigbee standard, so you can use it with any Zigbee system. And so I bought those. They're fairly cheap. Zigbee is more expensive than the like 433 or 318 megahertz stuff. Like my motion detector up there is 433. They're very, very cheap, and I do like them, but yeah, Zigbee it feels more robust, if that makes sense, more well engineered. I don't know. Anyway, oh, when did I miss a bunch of stuff again? I don't know what this is in response to. Oh, in the background of the picture. Okay, gotcha. Zombie apocalypse. That's what I don't do. See, you child, I get that, but I'm just saying, yeah, with Home Assistant, it doesn't have to go out anywhere, and you can have your home automatically shoot zombies. I mean, how awesome would that be? You could tie together a motion detector and thermal imaging camera, and if there's motion without any heat signature, shoot arrows or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, those are the kinds of things you need to be forward thinking when it comes to the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, good call. And I guess that whole class of vehicles kind of looks that way. They're all pretty useful. I like them a lot. Security panels. Oh, I've never used QualSys. I've never heard of that. I do wish I had some better interfaces and they make like some Raspberry Pi interfaces that will tie in and you can make your own dashboard. And I do kind of like that idea. I haven't found one that's easy enough for me to invest in. So right now I just mainly do like hands-off automations that don't require people to do stuff. And I have to admit, I do tie in Apple's um, HomeKit so that I can talk to Siri. The internet's disconnected. You can have Siri turn on lights and turn off lights and stuff, which is nice. It doesn't require the cloud, but it does use the cloud if it's available. So like if I'm gone, I can actually talk to my watch and tell my watch to like turn off all the lights in the house, and it will. But if I'm home and the internet is disconnected, so there's no outside connectivity, I can still talk to Siri in the house and have her do, like turn lights on and off, even though it can't get to the cloud. So it's not required, but I know it's still kind of, it does go to the cloud, but it doesn't feel as creepy as Google or the Amazon one. So anyway, that's what we use. The other ones are not connected. Google and Amazon do not have access to my home automation. Boom, boom. Can you buy any smart light bulb in them while I work? Yes, asterisk or asterisk. Um, yes, depending. First of all, look up the brand, and then I always Google the brand name and then Home Assistant, and there's going to be 100 Google responses on whether they work good or not. The thing is, every company, not every, most companies that sell home automation stuff want you to use their cloud platform, which just sucks beans. The idea of using somebody else's cloud platform, whether it's a hub or like, ooh, no hub required, it uses Wi-Fi. Well, that's great. But if it has to like phone home to another company's cloud in order to turn the lights on and off, I don't like that. But there are some that like this Sengled brand, they want you to use their technology, their cloud, their hub, all that stuff, but it uses standard Zigbee protocol, and you connect to whatever Zigbee thing. And for me, it's a Zigbee USB stick that is plugged into my Home Assistant. So I never do anything Singlet related, and it's not connected to the internet. It's only connected to my local Zigbee network. So there are ways around it. But yeah, for example, like the pink light in my background is it's like I don't remember what brand, but it's Wiz, WIZ is like the branding for it. It's some company like GE. I don't think it's GE, but it's like one of those companies. And I think it does require cloud access to turn on and off, which sucks, but whatever. So I do that. The other ones, so like the Yoshi egg that has a stuffed animal in front of it, and the ghost back there, they are not smart devices themselves. However, they have they're plugged in. They're just powered by USB, and they're plugged into a local. I think it's Zig. Yeah, it is. I can see it right from here. It's a Zigbee power switch. So when I turn them off, it actually unplugs them, and then when it's like my office senses motion, it will turn that switch port, that plug on, and then they will power up and come to life. So yeah, there's other ways around it. But for example, I said my wife and I have our lamps in our bedroom. They are using smart bulbs. The lamp itself stays on all the time, and they're just smart bulbs. And then we use the automation stuff to turn them on and off or to dim them. So we never touch the it's always on, and then we just use automation to adjust their luminosity. So which standard to use? That's what's really nice about Home Assistant. I really feel like they should be sponsoring this, right? You can use most protocols with Home Assistant. It's just connects to so many things. A lot of it is more of a what you're comfortable with. So most Wi-Fi based devices will go out to a cloud-based company and then come back. Home Assistant can usually still control them by connecting to your cloud account. That sucks. But some devices, even Wi-Fi ones, you can reflash, like if you're super geeky, and put a local operating system like Tasmota on them, and then control it all locally inside. As far as um, the protocols specific for home automation like Zigbee and Z-Wave, and Matter is coming up, which is still new and not widely used. There's another one I can't remember. Matter is the one that everybody's talking about now. And then there's the RF, the 433 megahertz RF stuff, and then 318 megahertz. Almost all of them can be used with Home Assistant. Um, that's what makes it so great. And you just, before you buy it, just do some research on the model that you want to buy. And that's my recommendation. Because I use a lot of stuff. I use Z-Wave, I use Zigbee, I use RF, I use Wi-Fi stuff, I use local Wi-Fi, I use a couple things that are remote cloud-based, like my pink lamp here. A couple of them that are still connecting to the cloud. But for the most part, everything is local. Let's see. I'm probably connecting Alexa on my desk right now. Yeah, and I mean, to give credit where credit is due, Amazon and Google have made it pretty simple to connect the devices that they support. I just personally am not a fan of the devices constantly listening in my house and needing to use the cloud to control lights. So that just creeps, but I mean, they work, they do. And usually those can be integrated into Home Assistant as well. Not always, but usually they can. You can make your own stuff with, yes, you can. In fact, so I'll show you. So I want to use more of that really inexpensive 433 megahertz RF stuff. And in order to do that better, right now I'm using something called a Sonoff bridge that bridges between Wi-Fi and that, and it uses MQTT. And I know I'm getting in the weeds as far as home automation stuff goes, but I want to take this, which is it's a Mega 2560 R3 Arduino board, and these little guys, which is an RF transmitter and an RF receiver, and you can connect it to your Home Assistant device via USB, and then it directly communicates with devices, and more devices than the Sonoff bridge. That's the reason I'm doing it. Sonoff bridge works fine, but it doesn't listen and communicate with everything out of the box. And I'll be right back again. Because these are two devices, 433 megahertz. This is an AccuRite. This is an EcoWit. These are both weather sensors, like weather. These are the outdoor portion of a weather station for your house. And I got these because I wanted to use them, not knowing that even though they communicate via 433 megahertz, the Sonoff bridge cannot see them. Like the language they talk, and it's beyond my ken. I don't know exactly what they do, but the Sonoff bridge doesn't see them. Whereas RF Link has it just uses raw RF receivers and transmitters, and then the software can interpolate a lot more. So it supports almost every device out there. So that's why I'm doing that. Because yeah, and you can do your stuff like 8266 devices, which I have a handful of. I want to do some projects there where they just, they have Wi-Fi built in local. It's just so much fun, and I really want to do more of it. That's why I set that whole workbench up. So anyway, oh crap, I'm way behind. All right. Scroll. Oh, no stairs. All right. Motion detection in our church bathrooms. Yeah. And so, I mean, I haven't put them in my bathroom yet, but I want to, because I always leave the lights on there. And actually I have a sensor in there. It's a motion detector and also a humidity sensor. And so what I want to do is, and I have the switches, I just have to put them in. We have 3 switches, one for the lights, one for the fan, and then one for the mirror lights. What I want to do is have lights go on automatically when you walk in, but then the mirror lights, which are super bright, like for when you're doing your makeup or your hair or whatever, I want those not to go on automatically. You turn those on if you want to use them. And then, everything shut off on its own if you forget to shut the lights off. And I want to have the fan go on automatically if the humidity level, like somebody's taking a shower and they forgot to turn the fan on, if the humidity approaches like, 60%, the fan kicks on and gets out, because those exhaust fans are not to remove stinkiness. They are to remove moisture when you're taking a shower. Maybe they remove some stinkiness, but their big like reason for existence is to draw out moisture when you're taking a shower. So anyway, yeah, that's the sort of thing I want to do in our bathrooms. Again, that stuff's just fun for me. Can we talk home automation fail stories? Oh, our bathroom has on-off motion sensor lights. uh, yeah, yeah, that happens here. So sometimes now, okay, I should clarify when I say that happens here. I don't go to the bathroom in my office, but sometimes if I'm like working on a project and I'm like staring at a terminal window for a very long time, not moving a whole lot, acting a lot like a potato, the lights will all go off around me, and I'll demonstrate what that looks like, because when it doesn't sense any motion for 20 minutes, this happens. And I'm like, ugh. And so then I have a bouncy chair, so I have to bounce around a bit. But it's fun for me, right? If I were actually like on a toilet and I like had to like kick my arms and legs around, yeah, I can see how that wouldn't be great. So you need a better motion sensor. That's the thing. In my bathroom, it's not a switch-based one. It is it's mounted up in the corner, and it has like a big beam angle, so it covers all of the area. And yeah, it handles. There's also presence detector devices, which I have not used, but they use like I don't know if it uses infrared to look for a heat signature, or microwave to look for like I don't know how they work, but there are some like new presence sensors. They determine the reason that they exist are if you're sitting in like a room watching watching a movie, and there's some sort of shut off things when nobody's there automation going on. Well, you're watching a movie, you don't move for a long time. And then if like your screen goes up, or something while you're watching a movie, that's no fun. So things like that exist for reasons. But yeah, there are some downsides to home automation, especially if you try to make them real tight, like no motion for a minute, shut that sucker off. Yes, yes. Yeah, keep the noise down so you don't attract more zombie. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, automated stuff like the cat could go in the kitchen, flip the light on, and then zombies are like, "Oh, fresh cat." Yeah. So I could see that being a problem. I get it. Let's see. As heavily an Apple because of the BSD undertones. So as a Linux user, I'm most comfortable with Linux. The reason that I originally started using Apple is because I got a job at a school that was a Macintosh based school. So, but this was before OS 10 though. When I got hired there, OS 9, which was not Unix based, was all the rage. Steve Jobs had just taken over, and so they hadn't transitioned. And then when he brought the technology from Next into OS 10, and it was BSD based, then BSD, I don't know why I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable there, but I have to admit, having a real terminal made me feel so at home. And so, yeah, I have used Apple products quite a bit since then. Actually, right now I use Windows on a machine over there and Linux here. I do have a little Mac Mini, but I don't use its terminal. I just use it right now to for things like iMessage, here's another thing that I totally want to cover. You can use a matrix server and they make a bridge to do iMessage stuff, which I'm fascinated about. Send iMessage, text messaging stuff via a matrix client like Element. And I'm super stoked to try that out, because it would be so cool to be able to send directly from like my Linux box or anything where there's an Element or a matrix client. I could actually send iMessage messages. I'm super excited to try that out. So anyway, that's another whole thing. But yeah, it is because of the terminal that I really, really liked it. Have to admit. New socket and home charger. Oh, nice. 9 feet. Did it fit? I mean, you didn't have to like leave the back open. That's impressive. I mean, I guess not. I guess that's not. No, I guess I'm trying to think like so. I'm about 2 meters. Not I think not quite 2 meters, but so like half of me again if I went from the front to the back of our. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But yeah, it was probably a close fit. Um, yeah, autocorrect fails are often even funnier than home automation fails. Although you did set the bar high with a bathroom home automation fail on the humor scale. That's up there pretty well. Uh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not like I have anything to hide. I'm very boring. Um, but it's just weird always listening. It's just creepy. And yeah, everybody has kicked their arms and legs around in the bathroom if they have home automation. If they have lights that go off after a certain amount of time. I tend to be more environmentally unfriendly with my automation rules. Usually for me, it's a 20-minute timeout. So, I mean, it could still happen in the bathroom, I suppose, depending on what you had the night before. But yeah, I tend to be less environmentally friendly. But I mean, you know, if you're trying to save every penny and stuff, I could see some tight rules making for some awkward situations. So, anyway, oh, and with that bathroom note, I caught up on the chat. And gosh, it's already 10 till. Anyway, I made notes. You want to see? I made notes. I am a huge fan of boogie boards. I don't know if anybody else uses boogie boards, but I love the simplicity of them. In one of okay, this is totally coincidental, but my last note is to say, hey, does anybody ever get caught up in the tools to make doing a specific task easier and never getting around to doing the actual work? Yeah. Um, Things like, so I want to get more organized. Like I need to come up with a production schedule. Ever since I had COVID, I sleep away in my morning. I used to love the 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. part of the day. I could do so much, like make my comic and, you know, have morning coffee and just like get ready for the day and get started on work. Ever since I had COVID, I'm so exhausted all the time. I don't know if it's long COVID. I don't know if it's just still healing. I don't even know, but I have to sleep like 10 hours a night, which is so unlike me. And so my new production schedule, whatever it's going to be, I think I'm just going to accept this as the new norm and try to move on from there. And so part of that though is like, okay, so what tools am I going to use? And so I've been down so many rabbit holes like, oh, Trello boards are so organized and neat, or I could use Asana and make jobs and check things off. And I could just make notes like journal notes. And so I could get software to do that. I could do like I have Trillium, which is what I use when I post weekend assignments and I share because I love the way it shares, but it doesn't have a mobile app. So what if I use Joplin app? And what did I do yesterday? I worked on my desk a lot here, but I also installed a Joplin app server so that I could do self-hosted syncing of Joplin app to do things like have a one-stop shop for all of my planning and organizing. It's just, I get down this rabbit hole of like planning to plan and then never doing any of the stuff. And it just drives me bonkers. So, yeah, that's where I am. But boogie boards are nice because this is all they do. They're LCD screens and you draw on them. And then when you're done, you press the button on the top and everything erases. There's no syncing to the cloud. They actually do make a model like that you can sync. Like, so you draw and then like it will sync up to cloud. I don't know if it's their cloud or your cloud or whatever, but it's not the board. It's the pen that you buy. Like the pen is like $150 and like the boogie board is far cheaper. And it has a little camera on it and it like tracks the motion. But if you just want a regular boogie board, Mason here, let me put it up on the screen there. Are they expensive? No, this was $15, I think. This was $15. I have I guess it's downstairs. I have one that was the fancier model that I don't like as much. That was $24. And I got this one. I was gonna actually, I might still actually review. This is an off-brand one from Amazon. I think it was $8.99, $8.99 or something. This one, I would spend the extra few dollars to get the Boogie Board brand. Like apparently this is the review I'm doing now. But this one, it works. It just feels cheaper. I didn't like it as much. Like it feels like a $9 version of a $14 product. So I'll probably put up a real review somewhere. But anyway, yeah, they really are. They really are cheap because they are pretty basic. How am I? Oh, just Boogie, Boogie Board is the brand. It's actually the brand of the Boogie Board, and I found that the cheaper one with the button is my favorite. Like I said, they make one where like it's you touch it with so like your stylus, and you touch it with the back end of the stylus to a certain spot, and it's run by magnets, and that clears the screen. It's a pain in the butt because you have to use that stylus, and I just like having a button. And the expensive one, the expensive one that's probably the one with the camera. Yeah, I thought it was even more than that. So maybe there's another middle of the road one that I'm not aware of. Lewis, I know we're running out of time here, but this is something that, again, these are one of the tools that I looked at to try to organize myself, and I ended up spending hours and hours and hours, and no organization happened. If you like the Remarkable or the Remarkable 2, I'm sure is the one you're thinking of, check out Supernote. Supernote, what I like better about Supernote is there's no subscription, no monthly subscription for all the bells and whistles. If you buy it, you get all the bells and whistles, and they are very active. They have like a GitHub repository, the Supernote folks do, and it's just pretty, yeah, it's pretty great. So if you like Remarkable and you're thinking about getting one, check out Supernote. They have an A4 size, and then they have an A5 size as well. You listen to me speaking all metric. They have an A4 and an A5 size, and their claim to fame is not only there's no subscription model to get all the bells and whistles with Supernote. This is also not sponsored by Supernote. I really need to get sponsors. It feels more like a pencil, I guess. I haven't had one. I really want one. It feels like a pencil. Like most of those tablets are designed to feel like a pen when you write, but the Supernote, apparently the stylus feels more like a pencil when you're drawing, which is cool, I think. So anyway, if they don't sell the Boogie Boards in the UK, that's a bummer. But the concept, like I said, they're I will review some. Mafiti, this is one that, like I said, I got from Amazon. Yeah, they're going to be really cheap, and they look pretty much like this. Some of them have like rainbow colors underneath. I mean, it is what it is. They're marketed towards kids a lot, but I like them for just taking quick notes because, let's see, I covered everything on here, right? Yeah. So basically, yeah, you just write on there. It's really easy to write on it. And then when you're done, you press the button and it's blank, ready to be written on again using, you can use your finger. This is actually my Wacom stylus that I use for drawing. And then just press the button to erase it. Anyway, big fan of Boogie Boards. And let's see, Boogie Board Black, liquid crystal paper. Yeah, check them out. And I have no affiliate links for you because I'm an idiot and I didn't do that. I will though. I'm going to review them, and I'll try to put affiliate links so you can like share with all your friends. Yeah. If you're talking about the Supernote, I know it's just like the Remarkable. They're both expensive. If you're going to invest that much money though, look at the Supernote. I'm not saying you have to get it Supernote instead of Remarkable. I'm sure they're both great products, but the Supernote does not have a subscription model to get all the bells and whistles, which I hate that you have to pay monthly in order to have all the features of the device. Yeah. And Supernote, like I said, they're pretty active in development too, which is cool. I wish I could afford one because they are really pricey. And like I said, they have the full A4 size. Like if you're looking at a lot of PDFs and you like want to mark up your PDFs, the A4 size makes a lot of sense. But if you're just like a note taker, the A5 size is cool. And it does do I really feel like I'm an advertisement for them. So like this is close to A5 size, right? If you're looking, you can look at a PDF, a full size PDF on it like this. And it's kind of small and hard to read, but with the Supernote, they had an upgrade, a recent firmware upgrade, where if you tilt it sideways, they'll show you the top half and the bottom half, because again, A4 and A5 is like perfect halvesies. You can see the top half and the bottom half of a PDF and look at it that way. So anyway, now that everybody has things to go look up online, it's time to hang up. So thank you everybody for chatting with me. Did I miss anything? Let's see. I think that's the US thing. Ain't you over there? Small one about really? Which one is are we talking about the Supernote? Because I'm curious now. I mean, if it's there must be more to it. I'm gonna look now. That's what I'm gonna spend the rest of my day doing. Anyway, boogie boards. Yeah, $42 is pretty pricey. Yeah, like I said, this is under $20 for this pink one that I'm using now, and I love it. So anyway, I'll see everybody later. Thanks for chatting, and don't spend too much on a boogie board, because my goodness, that's too much money to spend. What makes them so great is that they're cheap and useful, and their lack of features means that I actually have been using it. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll get that production calendar sorted and actually start doing stuff soon. I'm excited to do that. So here, welcome to the awkward time where I have to look for how to stop the stream. All right, found it. I'll see everybody later. Learn everything, do what you love, most importantly,